My people, they said every day for the thief, one day for the owner of the house. How many months is now left for this government to leave office? You know, so when they do something, when you feel say you know the end, and people they tell you, if you say you don't turn Lord because they want office, then you have to start killing people, doing whatever thing you like, thinking that now where you dey now end. Now lie. Nigerians, finally, International Criminal Court invites President Muhammadu Buhari against violation of human rights in Nigeria under his watch. They also said President Muhammadu Buhari using security operatives. This Buhari-led government is also known for harassing, assaulting, and intimidating journalists, human rights activists, protesters, and critics of his government. They said the government has also shown hostility to Nigerian judges and indifference to court judgments and others, thereby seriously undermining their standing and authority and the notion of access to justice. They said Buhari administration simply ignores court judgments and orders. Buhari has literally normalized disobedience to court orders and state-sanctioned brutality against peaceful protesters. The administration also continued to violate human rights with impunity. Source in the known of the concern raised by the stakeholders confided in the media that the Nigerian military and police are capable in the regard, especially in the prosecution of war against insurgency and other separatist agitations in the country. In its 2020 report, Amnesty International noted that under Buhari administration, Nigerian security forces committed grave human rights violations, including torture and ill treatment and the use of excessive force, which resulted on some occasions in unlawful killings. AL also stated that Nigerian authorities repressed human rights, including freedom of expression, peaceful assembly, and freedom of movement. The AL report highlighted the brutal crackdown on the pro-Biafran group, the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and Yoruba self-determination groups. The Lekki Toll Gate massacre of October 2020. October 20, 2020 was another instance whereby Nigerian soldiers were unleashed on defenseless citizens with deadly effects. According to the source, who spoke on condition of anonymity due to the sensitivity of the issue, human rights organizations such as Amnesty International have expressed concern to the International Criminal Court for non-action in the case of Nigeria despite glaring evidence of human rights violations by the Nigerian military. We know that the authorities in Nigeria have been shading some persons that aided human rights violations in various capacities. Some of these persons were appointed to cover the atrocities while in office. This is a worrisome trend and an indictment on the Muhammadu Buhari administration as complicit in the whole episode. Another source stated that had the ICC added, these individuals should be facing charges for crimes against humanity. The Nigerian army tops the list of violators in northeast Nigeria alone. Several innocent people were killed brutally under cover of fighting Boko Haram insurgents. The same happened in the southeast, while hundreds of innocent people were killed without evidence linking them to any wrongdoing. The Nigerian army, being at the forefront of the campaign, indeed committed several ignoble acts in the northeast, southeast, and northwest. They killed and buried people in mass graves. It was such a gory episode that reduced the value of human life. The source further added that the Nigerian authorities seems to be nonchalant in addressing those human rights violations and instead saw them as acting in the country's best interest. How could one explain where the government that is supposed to protect the people is using brutal force to suppress the people? Hundreds have been killed and buried, and their families have been left in limbo. The perpetrators of those crimes have been celebrated. This is not normal. The government is unconcerned. Buhari is unconcerned about its human rights rating globally and has continued to frustrate the efforts of the ICC in bringing these violators to justice. The past 7 years in Nigeria have been hellish for some families whose breadwinners have vanished without any trace. This is starkness of the reality on the ground. There are also feelers that prosecutors at the ICC are worried about the non-cooperation it has received from the Nigerian government in prosecuting persons capable in crimes against humanity. A source privy to the reservations expressed by the prosecutors at the ICC stated that the court is planning a new strategy to ensure that those capable are brought to justice. The emphasis is now on the new government, where such persons might likely not enjoy government immunity at the end of this administration. Analysts believe that such a posture by the administration has made the government very unpopular globally and unable to get any international support anywhere, he told Sahara reporters. I can tell you that the ICC is not relenting. Efforts are well underway to get those culprits to book. It is true that the new government in Nigeria might be cooperative with the ICC in a bid to get credibility in the international community. We might see some high-profile persons within the military face charges for crimes against humanity soon. The new government might not want to carry the baggage of the Muhammadu Buhari. This is general thinking, but again, our fingers are crossed. In a similar vein, a source in the military stated that upon the expiration of Buhari's administration, the diplomatic immunity enjoyed by some former service chiefs would elapse, thereby paving the way for unhindered prosecution of those under whose command these violations were committed. The administration indeed shaded some powerful persons, even though it seems like a masterstroke by granting them diplomatic immunity. I am not sure the immunity will continue at the end of this administration. People must be accountable for their actions while in office. They must have acted based on superior orders. But again, the deed has been done, and the onus lies on them to defend their actions instead of hiding under cover of diplomatic immunity. Recently, an international news agency, Reuters, accused the Nigerian army of killing children in its war against Islamic insurgents in the country's northwest. I'm dropping it here, guys. Kindly share your thoughts below the